I said he's generated, now he's charged up. See, you better get your flow, you better bar up. He's shutting down everybody with again, he doesn't care, cause you know that energy's about to rise in the air. Going generated.
Hello there, welcome to the DNA show. As you know, I'm Althea, part.
I'm Danny.
And we are live. Okay, now first off, of course, there's usually a shout out or we want to do a recap or anything, but I have a actual special shout out to someone, and that is this guy over here. Earlier today, I had a little bit of an anxiety attack, and I was a little bit like worried and anxious and stuff about not just the show, I know, like all the things that you got going on and on a daily life and everything that happens, and it can be consuming and overwhelming. So earlier today, I had an episode, and he was very kept his distance and says, "Don't worry," because I told him just get out of my face. He left. He went. He left me at the laundromat. That's where I wanted to do my folding all by myself. And then afterwards, I kept on trying to keep myself calm and everything, and I needed that little something. And Danny actually tried to calm me down several times on the phone today, worrying about me, saying, "We'll cancel the show. I don't care because, you're there's no DNA without the A."
Exactly. Now, to all the men, take note on that. If you ain't gonna take note on that, I will send you a text myself, and and we can go through all the instructions how to cope with that, because that could have ended very bad.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
Yeah, so what happened was I wasn't quite sure, you want a sign or you want something to help you out, and I just happened to be flipping through my Instagram, and I came across a meme of The Big Bang Theory, if anybody doesn't know about that show, but it was a segment between Amy and Sheldon, and she turns around to him and says, I don't want to be the reason you don't get a Nobel Prize. And he turned to her and said, wow. But you're the reason I deserve it. And that just kind of just threw me. And I said to myself, you know what? That's the same kind of thing that he had said to me. He's like, there is no DNA without the A.
Exactly. Before she came into my life, man, there was just, I would always be running around doing the music and just going and doing shows and then feeling like there ain't no purpose in doing this. And then when she walked into my life, started to figure out shout out to him all the time, one of the best freaking people I can actually say that walked into my life, Steve Kahn. Amazing management with her. And you know what, man? I keep telling her every time when I see her, I'm like, I really ain't the D without the A, man. And I don't ever want to lose that, because, even inside this performing life, it gets stressful. Like, she sees me going to studios. She sees me always on talk shows. She sees me always travel. So to a lot of times, man, I got to put my hat down for her sticking it out. Mm-hmm. Because if I didn't, that's another thing with artists is they don't realize. They don't realize that, because we're artists, you might see us on, TV. You might see us go around places where people all know us and the fame. You never see what's behind the back door, and you never see the people that sit there and really push you to another element in your career. You know what I'm saying? Even my father, man, I always got to give him a shout out, because how many people got their parents to be like, "Yo, that's my son right there." You know what I mean? And it's amazing. Even my little brother hit me up on the YouTube watching this, man, and shout him out, Gamers JD. I got a lot of love for him. He shouted me out. My niece always, always hits me up on the TikTok and stuff, and that's little things to push, family to push, and when you really see that as being an entertainer and just going out in the shows that, a lot of times you got a lot of people that don't want to see you succeed because they can't do the same things that you can do.
Right, I got that right.
And when you got somebody that sits there behind your back and really pushes you, I'm gonna bring up a quick story right now. Strong Island, Mr. Strong Island over here. Bobby looks at me. He goes, "I watched your girl say all your lyrics to a song." When he said that to me, that touched me for the rest of my life, because that made me like, yo, that's my #1 fan no matter what. That's my heart right there. Somebody loves you so much when they can basically say all your words and see all the progress that you're moving with them. That's all I want to say in this. But I really want to thank my Althea.
And on that note, we can actually start showing some love because actually he's done a lot in the last week, 2 weeks. I want to give.
Week.
Has it been a week only?
Yeah.
Feels longer. But there's a couple of people. Actually, Roxanne, New York
Shout
City.
out, you know what I'm saying? Inside Brooklyn.
That was an awesome
D-Box
interview.
Radio, love y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you very much. And Christian, he's actually...
Rise, shout out to him.
Long Island on the Rise. Love him, too.
On the Rise, love you, man. Thank you so much for, taking the time, interviewing me. You're honestly a really amazing person for sitting there and realizing, too, that you want to give people a platform the same way I do, man. So thank you guys so much for that.
And don't forget Obi.
Shout out to my man OB. We were in the studio late at night, 5 o'clock in the morning working. We don't stop. My boy Las Vegas, shout you out too, boy. We coming with the Spanish music, man, the Spanish market. And Dad, don't think I didn't forget neither, man.
You gotta
the Father and
that.
Son album, boy. The Father and Son album. People get ready for that, man. My father's one of the most talented individuals. Is where I got my talent from.
Eddie Rock. So anyway, we have a lot of things that are going on. Basically, we're just pushing and we're always working, especially like even with Cake Life as well.
Yeah, man, that guy, man, is an amazing
Over the weekend.
entrepreneur. Me and him went out to the Forks, man. We sat there. We politicked all over. We're not stopping. Everybody's like, oh, well, nah, man, we ain't stopping. I went out to the Forks. People even knew about this show. Stopped me and was like, hey, are you Danny from the DNA show? I was like, what? They're like, yo, we got a star here. Man, shout them out, too. Much love to them, too, man. They're dope individuals, man. They're really good in the breaded, man, and shout them out with the hats and all that. They're great freaking people, man. So shout them out. Thank you guys so much.
I think
Thank you for taking me over there.
We have to show that, we're getting a lot of love because lately now we're actually seeing people who are their genuine selves. They're not fake.
You know who I like, too, that's on the station, too?
Who?
Frankie and Andrew. I love watching
love those guys.
His hustle, man. So shout them out, too, man. Monday nights, watch their show, man, because, they're really good people, too, man.
And Dino. Can't forget Dino.
Shout out to Dino.
Okay. Mr. Dino Luzzi, energy drink. Got to shout you out, too.
You always show me love.
Everybody shows us love, and that's the whole premise of the show.
Yeah, man.
It's what we're getting, we're giving back, not because we have to, because we want to. Right?
You know what it is, man? It's just a journey in life. From people that you meet inside the life of your journey, man, never forget because they're the ones that brought you into where you're at now. And if you one day you got to cross that bridge again. No matter what, you're going to have to cross that bridge.
We'll be crossing a lot of bridges.
Yeah, I know.
It's just every day, every week, it's something different. I come home and it's like even everybody out there knows that you have like one regular job. You come home, you eat, you watch a little TV, you go to bed. That's not what happens in our life.
No, but it's go to studio, then go to the movie, then run back down the block, go to that interview, get a call, you got to go to PA, you got to sit there, you got to perform with some of the... Life is very hectic.
But he loves it. Don't even front.
I do love it, but again, I was born in this. It's not like, it's not like when you first come, it's like, okay, I'm an artist. It's like, no, I watched my father take it on the mic. When I watch my father on the mic, when I watch Keith on the mic, when I watch Tone on the mic, Charles on the mic, it's just so much, you know what I'm saying? And the music comes out of your, your veins, your blood. So it's hard to like push that aside and say, yo, I'm not an entertainer, but you're born an entertainer.
And actually, that other woman that you just interviewed with, Becca Rose.
Shout out to Becca.
Fill the blank.
Fill the blank, yeah.
Right? Okay,
yeah.
Fill the blank. She was phenomenal. And I was just walking in from work, came in, and there's Danny sitting on a podcast, and this is like normal for me, okay? I just walk in, and he's on the, and I'm
another interview.
Yeah, and I actually thought he was, just talking to somebody on the phone, and then I was like realizing that he was actually being interviewed by someone else, which was really cool. Becca Rose, you're awesome. It was such a beautiful interview. And she was showing so much love, and I'm like, I don't know. I get choked up all the time every time I hear that because it's like it's just when you have such a following of people who are so genuine and want to talk to you and find out all about you and everything and help you out. you just can't say enough, you know.
You know what's something cool though? When you said that somebody wrote to you about Danny never had an ego. I feel like that's what kills people in music, and that's what kills people in life, is having an ego.
He doesn't have an ego.
I don't like having an ego because I feel like an ego to me is not showing off. An ego to me doesn't mean anything, because sometimes, honest to God, yeah, we all feel like, yeah, we're the man. Yeah, we can take this over. Yeah, we got this. But at the end of the day, man, you always have to have a supporting cast behind you. No man, like I say right now and then, no man is great without his woman. Oof. She's my backbone. She helps me, you know. But back to, you know, with that interview with Rose and them, I actually found her off of Reek the Villain actually did an interview.
Right.
So I was looking at him. I'm like, oh yeah, because you know me and Reek, man, cool. Shout out to Reek the Villain. Much love to you, and shout out to Music Industry
Long Island.
Yeah, you guys, thank you guys so much too for that interview on the magazine. It was amazing. But back to her, when me and her were sitting there and we were talking, it just felt like, you know, like a friendly talk, like you know, one of your people. So it's like, yo, you do this, you do that, you do this. It's funny because when people don't know what you do, it gets even better because they think, okay, you only got this. And all of a sudden, wait, I got this. Wait a minute, I got this. Hold on, I did this. Wait, I went up here. And they're like, what? It's like, you did all this?
Yeah.
It's like, why are you still over there? And I'm like, that's the game, you know?
That's
some people get a promising chance. Some people get the chance, and some people decide, hey, I had the chance. I want to do something different.
Right.
I went into politics. When everybody else was blowing up in music, I was like, you know, it's kind of cool with the music, but I'm an advocate. I'm a leader. Let me do something and combine it in. And that's what got me around all of those people that, you know, everyone always says, how did you get to the White House? How did you do stuff in the United Nations? How did you do all that? And I explained to him, I said, listen, man, I said, I didn't know nobody. I sat there and I just did my footwork. And I figured out the formula to how to really do it. And it was good. Like, shout out to Cake Life again. Best post I've ever seen. Yeah. 90% of it is showing up.
Right.
Showing up, knowing this is your job and knowing that you're going to work for it.
Yeah.
See, nobody is going to give it to you, people.
No.
Like, to the independent artists that watch me and always want my advice, this is my advice to you. Go out and get it.
Go out.
You don't know who you're going to see at an event. You don't know who you're going to poly with. Quick story, recap. A guy named Ed Rodon. I didn't know this man from a hole in a wall. Hit me up on Facebook and said, I like everything you do with the anti-bullying. Come with me.
Yeah.
I came with him, right? First, we went to Brookhaven Town Hall. I know everyone in Brookhaven Town Hall because I worked there. So I'm like, all right, cool. He goes, okay, boom, we got to go somewhere else. We went right to the college in Farmingdale. Who was there? Governor Cuomo.
Right.
Governor Cuomo, Scott Matush, rest in peace, and Phil Boyle, senator. After that, got into the loop, met everybody, and just kept digging and kept going and kept going and kept going.
Yeah.
And that's that's the grind.
That's the grind.
The grind is you have to play this game. Not even a game. Just be yourself and walk the journey that you need to walk in.
Yeah, you can't just sit there and wait for things to happen. You got to make them happen.
Yeah, like you don't ever know. Like randomly, this guy hit me up that I had no clue who he was. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, people said, "Oh, well, you couldn't do this with the anti-bullying." In
that's
2
where
weeks,
that's where "Hey You" comes into effect. That song, "Hey You."
Hey
You
You
listen
is
to that.
Hey You is basically a part of all the people that you're always gonna have. People that just well, you know what? It's discouraged, but at the end of the day, it's people that don't see. I'm always gonna say it just doesn't see your vision.
Right.
So if they don't see your vision and they're blinded and they can't see it, how are they gonna move forward?
You got that right.
You know what I'm
now,
saying?
moving forward. Last time we had a little bit of a glitch on the video that we had, but this time I'm showing it again. My favorite song off the album, Regenerated, Let Her Know. And when we come back, we'll be with Thomas Duffy. Stay tuned.
Heck yeah. Amazing off the team.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, see, mama, when I first saw you, and I saw that smile, had me going like, I need her. Now I got to let her know, daddy ain't never gonna leave. You know I want you, girl, for all eternity. Now I got to let her know, daddy ain't never gonna leave. You know I want you, girl, Said I'm loving you, girl. Said I'm loving you, girl. Said I'm loving you, girl. Now I got to let her know, Daddy ain't never gonna leave. You know I want you, girl, for all eternity. Now I got to let her know, Daddy ain't never gonna leave. You know I want you, girl, for all eternity. You don't know what love is until you have it. You gotta really take control. Don't wanna lose that energy that you got though. When you kiss her and you feel like there's nobody else in this world, but you ain't loving this, but you ain't. Now I got to let her know, Daddy ain't never gonna leave. You know I want you, girl, for all eternity. Now I got to let her know, Daddy ain't never gonna leave. You know I want you, girl, for all eternity. Oh, you know I want you, girl. You know I want you, girl. You know I want you, girl. I want you. Oh, I want you, girl. 'Cause I'm never gonna leave.
Hello, and we're back. I want to just give a special shout out to Voice Watkins, the producer of that video.
And the album.
Okay.
And the album.
But I also want to introduce an author and Critics' Choice member, Mr. Thomas Duffy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me on.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
First off, I want to find out a little bit about you first, as to where you hailing from. You just got to let us know.
I'll let you know.
I like the video.
I'm from Glen Oaks, New York. Originally from Woodhaven, New York, and Queens, representing Queens today.
Queens.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
She's from Queens too.
Natural born writer. PS 66, Richmond Hill, Queens. They gave me the Creative Writing Award, which
Wow. How old were you then?
I was 11 years old when I won my first writing award.
Oh my God.
Wait, you were 11 years old when you won your first writing award?
Yep.
Oh my God, that is amazing. The books are amazing that you've been writing. A lot of people. I've been around New York, and your name has been circulating all over.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when I got the chance, I was like, yeah, I got to bring him on my show. I got to bring this guy on my show. I love
Danny.
you. Got such great, such great content, and I like too that you're a reviewer too, a music reviewer. To me, that's really
music and film, mostly film.
Films. Yeah, sorry.
Film. Do your homework.
I did my homework,
Okay,
man.
I'm just
so overwhelmed that we got this really great guest coming. Because I seen you too. You were like, yeah, like hyped up and slipped up a little
I
bit
did
too.
like the part. Well, first of all, you were also an undergraduate, correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Pace
so
University.
Pace.
In Manhattan.
And Hofstra as well.
I did attend Hofstra as well on the island for a little while, year and a half at Hofstra.
I do my homework. I am just loving him right now.
I love Danny.
Okay, but first of all, he has nine books?
9 published books, self-published, but they nevertheless have divided audiences and united audiences equally, because they are all in the books that are of very various genres, different genres, from sci-fi to regular fiction to thriller. I dabbled in all different genres, and I feel that I need to branch out into everything.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I can't just stay into one specific genre, because I feel that there's just too much going on in life. Life is not one thing. Life is, the day could be fun, your day could be serious. It's a little bit of everything, and that's what life is, and that's what my books should be.
And they are. And actually, I was, the latest book was The Separation, correct?
No, The Separation 2 I'm working on now. My latest book that came out was Heavenly.
Heavenly. I read that one.
I like that one.
I
was telling her that too. And I seen, because we got to speak a little bit before you came here, because you came a little bit early. You were saying a lot too. Does your books have a lot to do with your life and your experiences? Because as an artist, and me, the way that I write my music, a lot of them is having, first experiences through the art. So I wanted to just, ask you that kind of question.
Yeah, I like that you recognize that, Danny, because I really think that my life has taken a reappearance in my work. Mm-hmm. It's definitely through the characters I present, I've put myself into those characters because
Right,
that's
yeah.
what makes writing great, is when you put something in it that you love, that you've experienced. And that's what Heavenly is. Heavenly is a book about love. It's about being reborn, learning about what's important in life.
Yep.
That is so
And that is
cool.
why I was compelled to write it. And I feel it's a book that people should read. I mean, I
Yeah.
just really think it's
No, it was.
important.
I liked it. You know what? When I was first reading it, like I told you outside before, I was like, yeah, okay, it's a book. Let's just check this out. And then after I was reading, like the first, when I got to the rat, it changed my life. When it pulled me in.
The
Not just-
realism,
yeah,
the realism of the book.
exactly.
As you open into the book, you get this gritty realism of his life,
Yes.
his day-to-day endeavors, and all of a
I
sudden,
remember the 7 train.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember the
That's
7
amazing.
train.
As when I was
That's
working in
amazing.
Planet Hollywood in Times Square, I was taking the 7 train home 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and those are my experiences documented in the
Yeah.
beginning of the book. Then I take a
Wow.
little creative turn in the book where he goes to heaven.
I
Well,
know.
not heaven, but the
It was
sort
like
of
that
like
stop before.
It's the stop before heaven. Right,
Okay.
right.
Wow.
Kind of like your 7 train,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Kind of like the
Amazing.
7 train.
yeah.
You're like,
That really
You're
is.
on your way.
the next stop before you head over under the water, it's okay. Next stop is Grand Central Station. That's kind of like where that level was in that book. I was like, oh, okay, he's taking me. Oh, he's taking me there. But there's not that many passengers on the train with me. So what was going on? And that's where that level where I was a little bit like, oh, okay. I was always like intrigued. Every page I turned, I was like, oh, okay. You did really good with that book. Let me tell you.
I really appreciate that. I mean,
No, you
I
did.
try to really use my imagination to think of what happens when we die. I mean, if we
That's
don't
so
live a fulfilled life,
Yeah.
we want to be fulfilled. I think a higher power, if there exists, and I believe that one does. I believe in God. I believe in faith, and my faith led me to write this book and to say, there's more to life, and God wants you to live your life on earth to the fullest.
That's true.
To experience everything that life has, and it's all its joy, its sorrow, its despair, but happiness, and it's worth the journey. Life is a journey that's worth taking.
Let me ask you another question, and this is: do you have any family members, like fathers, or I mean, like in your family? Because my family has a lot of entertainers, and they have a lot of writers. How did you get, this whole? What do you feel like in your genetics? Do you feel like somebody in your family was like the same kind of the way that you would write? Like, can you elaborate a little bit that for the
Sure,
people?
of course, Danny. I grew up in a house full of books. My house in Woodhaven was wall to wall with books, and I would read them on the staircase and just sit there and be immersed in the books that my father would bring into the house. My father brought them all into the house, not my mom. My father. So my father would also write. He would write about movies that he saw, the actors in them, which movies had which actors, and that's what led me to film criticism. But then at the same time, I had that passion to write because my father would always question me. Well, what happened? What'd you like about the book? What'd you
Right.
like about the movie? And I took my love of criticism, my love for writing and telling stories, and I'm living that. And that's what I want to do with my life, is tell stories and to tell people about
I love
what I
this, man.
experience
You're really
watching
good
a
at
movie.
that.
Thank you
No,
so
but
much.
I love the passion. That's how you know he's a great writer, because you can see the passion and you can see the enthusiasm when he gets up. He's like, "Yeah, I love this," or "I'm watching this," or "I'm sitting there." People don't realize as an entertainer, you really got to study your craft, no
Yeah.
matter what genre, no matter what arts that you do. You always have to study your craft, and it always comes from somewhere. Like that's amazing too, bro, because your inspiration came as the same as me. My father would sit there in the studio, and I would literally, as a youngin', watch him just sit there in the studio making the beats and sitting
You're really
there
good. When
and
you're
doing
good,
it.
you're
So
good.
when you see that, I feel like a lot of times that makes you more,
Inspired.
receptive. And, inspired too.
So you actually have a sequel coming up to the
Separation, yeah, that's what I was telling you. The sequel to Separation is what I'm working on. The Separation is my most popular book. It can be found in the library system on online Overdrive.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And people
heard of that
can
one.
just go on overdrive.com and find a library that has it and download it for free. I mean, I'm not even looking to make money off the
Right,
book.
you just love
I just
it.
want people to read it and see. That's a story that's very interesting
Okay.
about the way the sexes were divided at birth, and I continue that story on in the sequel, and it's actually part of a trilogy. So this is the second of
that's-
the
It's
trilogy.
It's like Star Wars.
That's when I read that book that he was talking about. That that book had me like, whoa, because of the. How did you even think of like all that? Like, what made you even see that? Like your thought process in that,
Well,
writing that book.
People are a little concerned when I wrote that book. They said, "What's going on in your head, Thomas?" I said, "Well, you know what? What if the world existed and we were separated and the sexes didn't know about the other sex until we graduated college in order to fulfill our career goals?" And it just made me think. And I came up with these crazy ideas, and I put them down on paper, and I wrote this story. And it's got two other parts to it. And it's just a story that I really feel says a lot about society today. You know.
But that's crazy because you foresee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you did.
A lot of times, because that's when I went around and I read it, and I was just like, whoa, because it doesn't scare me. When I see something like that, I'm like, this is what you call artistry. This is something that people don't. This is out the box.
Right.
This is what I like, because that puts you into another. You know what I mean? Like everybody's in a circle. You just went out that circle. You just went out that safe zone. You're just like, you know what? This is how I'm feeling right now. This is something that I'm seeing. I want to put this out. Now, the normal person, well, people that basically are reading it, they don't understand it because they don't understand the thought process.
Right.
Okay.
That's why I want you to come in here and maybe explain how the thought process of you coming up with this book and what really inspired you to come up with that.
Well, I actually wanted to ask him, what comes first for you, the plot or the character?
The plot actually comes first. The character is always going to have something with me integrated into it.
Right. Okay.
So, but to feed off of what Danny was saying is just that I think that art and life is about taking risks. The more risks you take, the more you're going to achieve in life, and the more and Separation is a book that's risky. I put it out there, I took a chance, and people found something. And
That's the best thing I have heard anybody say in a long time.
But,
Take the risk. Don't matter what people think. Just take that risk.
But what part
love
of the book do you find the most hardest to write? Which part of the book?
the hardest is when to bring it to a close. When have you said enough about what you wanted to say? And Separation, of course, I couldn't do all 3 stories. It's divided into 3 stories. But to close it where I closed it, I think is a cliffhanger, a point of the book like that you want to end.
Okay, so you want more. Okay.
Yeah, to leave more. But the ending is the hardest part, to say, when have I said enough of what I wanted to say?
Okay. No.
One thing I wanted to ask him, though, would you ever make any of those into like a movie?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a great question.
That's a nice
And I think I would like to see Heavenly as a film directed by Steven Spielberg one day.
Cool.
That would actually be dope.
Or anybody for that matter.
Do you have anybody for like the lead role or anything?
Yeah.
Or?
I actually, for
You want to be
Heavenly,
Vic?
No.
for Heavenly, I
Doesn't
actually,
have to be a male.
Well, I saw you going like
Well,
this. And I saw you
I'm
going
just saying,
this,
just
so I'm
doesn't
like,
have to
what,
be a
you want
male.
to be a pick over here?
I did consider Michael Cera from Scott Pilgrim versus
Oh,
the
look
World.
at you already.
Yeah, for
look at, he's
Heavenly.
already got the cast.
Yeah, I've got the director. If it's not Spielberg, I have about 10 more directors lined up that might want to take the job.
I don't know any directors, do you?
My father?
Okay.
Hey.
Hey, there we go.
You never know. You got to be in it to win it.
Hey, you got connections over here.
Yep.
Don't even worry about that. My other question is, what part of that book was fun to write?
Which one? Heavenly?
Yeah, because I'm stuck on Heavenly. I'm sorry.
I liked the way that the funnest part was the part where he actually goes to the preliminary heaven, the where he's jumping on the clouds
Oh
and
my
he's
God,
seeing this
yes.
whole other world, and he's trying to figure out where he is, and then he's got to sort of defend his life and say why he did what he did when he was, and why he hasn't fulfilled the life that was expected for him.
Right. That's why I was telling you. It kind of reminded me of It's a Wonderful Life.
There you go. That
You know?
Yeah, no, that hit when you said that. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That definitely did. But you don't see a lot of things like that. That was really good, man.
It kind of hit
That
home.
was
I'm
really-
like, this
yeah.
is it was a really good book.
Yeah,
I
it
really
really
enjoyed
was.
it. I would suggest that everybody out there look at it too. We're gonna take a break in a few seconds. Let me just finish. Okay. We have. I'm showing now the music video that had premiered on BET and MTV. BET Jams.
BET Jams, MTV Jams, VH1, World Star.
Okay, so
Shut it out, baby.
So one of Enjetic's favorite one-time video that we're going to show now. So enjoy it, and we'll come back, and we're going to come back with questions. Call in. Be there.
Or be square. Or lock you.
Yeah. To my brothers that's feeling pain in this world, this goes out to everybody. Look, Look, they lock you up, they wanna trap you, put you inside with a lock, it's mental block. Cause all you ever hearing is the cops screaming lifeless. Now all of a sudden we thinking prices. Putting that two there, be caught crashing in crisis. Now they hating how the way how they even look. They try to lock us up, throw it down, try to play the book, wanna get us shook. Every time try to get it booked, overshook. Saying God is there but love is overlooked. When they take you, try to kill you, try to pretend you coolin'. Now all of a sudden they be catching you with double tooling, lying one to each other, hitting what even tantal. Before you say one word, the judge slamming the mantle. Lock 'em up, put 'em there, lock 'em, hit 'em around doors. Say that he can't come out, leave his freedom and call. If they got you incarcerated, taking they made it, they leave you and faded. All the time that you be saying waited, you laughing, you crying, you angry, you feeling and skating. Saying with all the time, they just demonstrated. Leave you inside the cars, they don't wanna see you out, they leave you locked doors, breaking your jaws over locked. They lock you up, they wanna trap you, put you inside with a lock, it's mental block. Cause all you ever hearing is the cops screaming lifeless. Now all of a sudden we thinking prices. Putting that two there, be caught crashing in crisis. Now they hating how the way how they even look. They try to lock us up, throw it down, try to play the book, wanna get us shook. Every time try to get it booked, overshook. Saying God is there but love is overlooked. They wanna lock us and throw away the key, pretending we don't exist. Listen, see, all they care is what they get. They don't wanna see us free on that. They don't care, they don't see, they don't wanna see us free. Cause if they did, then you would know. Keep yourself and go sick and tired of telling you. They lock you up, they wanna trap you, put you inside with a lock, it's mental block. Cause all you ever hearing is the cops screaming lifeless. Now all of a sudden we thinking prices. Putting that two there, be caught crashing in crisis. Now they hating how the way how they even look. They try to lock us up, throw it down, try to play the book, wanna get us shook. Every time try to get it booked, overshook. Saying God is there but love is overlooked. See my brothers be dying, they don't care. My boys be getting shot, nobody wanna hear. Guns so freaking triggering, but nobody gives a damn until your man is dead. And nobody wanna hear what you gotta say. They wanna know you anyway. So when they lock you and throw away the key, and you don't see no freedom, remember. They lock you up, they wanna trap you, put you inside with a lock, it's mental block. Cause all you ever hearing is the cops screaming lifeless. Now all of a sudden we thinking prices. Putting that two there, be caught crashing in crisis. Now they hating how the way how they even look. They try to lock us up, throw it down, try to play the book, wanna get us shook. Every time try to get it booked, overshook. Saying God is there but love is overlooked.
Bring us back.
And we're back. First, I wanted to say shout out to everybody. That's it. Okay. So getting back to you, I wanted to know one question. We got his book right here.
2 books.
Okay. Okay, now, in these books, how many experiences, like everything that you're going through life and whatnot, when does it come to that point that you say, okay, I got to write about this one?
It's funny you should say that. There are so many different things that happen for each book. It's something in particular. Like, well, one of my books, Stock Boy Nation, the pandemic hit, and I said, I got to change this book. It was going one direction. I had to switch the book into the pandemic with Heavenly. I was just going to work one day, and it hit me. I was in the subway system. I said, what I saw a fight.
Let me guess, the 7 train?
Yes.
The 7 train, oh my God.
Yeah.
So
that's so cool.
So you can go through so many experiences and say, but okay, so what particular about it though? I mean, even though you said, okay, I wrote about that, but what in particular said, oh, I got to write this?
When you feel it, when you feel it so much inside that you said, this has got to be a story, then you know it's the right thing to write. It's that simple.
Okay, cool. Bobby, did you put the phone on the...
Yeah, right there.
Okay,
call in.
Call in. If you have any questions for Mr. Thomas Duffy, please call in. Otherwise, we can go on. Now, you could be found where? On Amazon?
Amazon. Everything is on Amazon, all 9 books. I'm also, you can check me out on film-book.com where my movie reviews are published.
Oh, okay.
And also www.authorthomasduffy.com, which is my website, which I will be updating as new developments occur in my career and as new books are out.
Oh, okay, cool.
So artsy. You could just see it. Like I'm this guy's talking. I'm just like, damn. Like even like because I know how it is to create and write music, but to write a book, I'm like, oh
What is
man,
the-
that has to be challenging, man.
Yeah, but what is the difference between like a writer and an author?
An author is somebody who has something that is shaped. The writer is just putting the things down on paper. I think
Right.
that's a writer. An author is when they shape those ideas into something that tells a very distinct story with a plot.
Okay. But so then when you I get it. I kind of get it. I mean, I'm just still I'm still enthralled with the clouds, with the
From Heavenly.
Yeah, I don't know why. It was just like such an and then, at the end he was Peter. And then he had this whole different life that he didn't have before.
And he was more fulfilled.
Yeah, and it was more about second chances. And a lot of people don't realize that there always are second chances.
I think it's just beautiful. I think his writing is honestly amazing and funny. The thing about you as being a really good author is you could paint a picture when you read just the first page. I was sitting there with her and I'm reading it and I'm just like, whoa, I can actually envision and see.
Yeah.
You got to hook them in. That's the most important thing. Is hooking the reader in, and
Right.
that's it. So I wanted to mention my cover designer.
I know.
That's what I was gonna talk about,
Where did
too.
you come up with these
Well,
designs?
the pictures actually are taken by myself, yours truly, most of the pictures. Some are taken by Erica Velasco, the photographer.
Okay.
But this particular picture I took at the beach in the sky.
Oh, wait, so you took
and
that
I
on the
took that picture and sent it to my cover designer, and she puts the words up
okay.
there and the name, and that's it, really. And the clouds I took from...
You got to
Yeah.
call in.
Oh, he's got a caller.
Oh, they gotta...
And welcome to the show.
Go ahead. Take it off.
Yes, caller, you are live. How can I help you, and what is your name?
Hi, we have a question for Thomas Duffy.
Sure, go ahead.
Our question is, we wanted to know if he's ever considered writing a book about his film criticism and the movies that he recommends.
Bravo. I like that question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
And the answer is a resounding yes, because I am actually working on putting together something like that. I have my 100 all-time favorite movies.
Oh, God.
And I'm actually about 50 movies in, about halfway through 51.
Oh, my God.
And I'm there. It's going to come out soon. It's just a matter of polishing it up and editing. And,
Okay,
just going
great.
and then, of course, my fiction books are another priority. So I'm trying to prioritize which one's going to be released first, basically.
Oh, okay. All right. And you have any other questions? Oh, they're gone.
Oh, man.
That was quick.
But you know what? That was dope, man. See, we got callers coming
Oh, so
in.
you can
everybody's
wait. Hold
listening.
on a second. We got a movie critic here.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Okay. I got a question for him. Okay.
Ooh.
No, actually, because one of my I'm a big Marvel universe kind of girl, and you got hooked on the Avengers, so don't even
I
start.
I can't even argue with her on this one.
He cannot.
So go ahead.
So we were actually watching Spider-Man. And I actually watched the first couple of them, right? And then it was the last one was No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Didn't like it.
We have a difference of opinion, however. I don't think it's the best Spider-Man film. I think the best Spider-Man film is Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock, with Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
That was what I thought was absolutely amazing. And, you can't duplicate the success. You can only try to recreate it the best you can. I thought No Way Home did a pretty good job. It's not, but you see, No Way Home is going to appeal to people who are coming to the franchise fresh. We grew up on those Tobey Maguire movies when we were younger.
Right, yes, we
Okay.
did.
So, and they'll always be in our hearts as the true Spider-Man
True,
movie.
true.
So the
Just
new
like
one,
the true Superman.
right, it's Christopher Reeve for
Yeah,
me. So
you got that right.
So they'll always try to reboot everything, pretty much, and they rebooted Spider-Man a couple of times, and it's not perfect. It's
Okay,
not a
so
10,
wait.
but
Can I say something real
No,
quick?
hold on a second.
In
Hold on.
Spider-Man, that gets me annoyed is it's always the third one that's just terrible. What they do is they push every single character in one, even with the Tobey Maguire one. Venom and the Sandman, and then what was it? The Hobgoblin. And I was like, how are you gonna mix all of these storylines in at once? We got another
Oh,
caller.
we got another caller.
And it was more about second chances.
You are live on the DNA show. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
And your name, sir?
Todd.
Hi, Todd. And you
Hey,
have a
Todd,
question
how
for
are you?
Thomas?
Yes, I do have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
You guys are still on.
Go ahead.
I'd like to know, he wrote, when he wrote The Separation, I was wondering if he knew ahead of time that all three that he's planned, I found out tonight he wants to do a trilogy. I was just curious if when he was writing the first, if the trilogy was in mind all along, or he realized it towards the end of the first book that there's much more to say.
Very good question.
That's a good question.
And the answer is I always envisioned it as a trilogy. My favorite sci-fi is The Hunger Games, which was a trilogy. And actually more than a trilogy. Now they actually went down to a prequel. But Separation ends at a very specific point where I'm just getting warmed up, all right? So there's 2 more to come, and they're coming. Just give me time to make sure that they're perfect, because I want to make sure that the readership is phenomenal and that everybody gets what they're expecting from the sequel. And I think I'm there. I think this is going to be that like Empire Strikes Back type of sequel in the
like
book
a Return
world.
of the Jedi.
Right,
Then,
yeah,
right.
Okay,
Okay.
in the book
I got
world.
you. Can we get back?
Very
thank
cool.
you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Bye.
So with that said, about going back to Spider-Man.
Oh, listen, I already explained to him, and he's gonna agree with me. What was the last one? No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Everything was bunched up again, and all the characters is Dr. Ock, Electro.
You know what? Don't even.
And like I watched it, and I'm like, and then
don't argue with him. No.
No. He's gonna agree with me on this.
I'm not going to argue.
No, this is the same man.
Did you feel honestly like everything is always bunched up, always at the third one? Like they always do the first one good, the second one phenomenal, the third one they get lazy on. I'm serious. And I'm a fan of this.
What do you think about the love story with Zendaya? How did you feel about that in the No Way Home?
Oh, God. I was like, yo, I don't even want to see that. It was more depressing watching that movie at the end. I'm like, usually it brings you up and you're like, all right, what's next? I was like, can they just shut this whole movie theater down right now and just shut off that screen? It's like, yeah, well, he doesn't never get back with her. He's sitting there. Oh, another caller.
Okay. And you are live on the DNA show. How can I help you?
Hey, thank you for having me on.
No problem.
I had a question for Tom.
What is your name, though?
This is Dan from
Hi,
Cincinnati.
Dan. Okay, go ahead for Thomas.
My question is, what's some advice that he can give us if you want to be, if you're an aspiring writer? What's first steps you can take if you want to try and dip your toe into the writing field?
That's an excellent question. And the thing that I have to say is that you cannot look at other people's work and try to emulate it. You got to be yourself. And to be an author and to be a writer, you need to take what you have to say and make it have meaning to you in order to be successful doing it. If it means something to you, it will mean something to others, because we're the same as people. We're more similar than we are different, like Oprah says. And I just think that we have experiences that we want to tell, and we have to make it come alive. And to put it on paper is the hardest thing sometimes to certain people. Some people have it in their heads and just can't get it down, but you have to just focus. And with that focus, you can take the story and bring it all the way to completion and make that novel, that book.
Yeah.
Everybody has the potential to tell a story. There's this one good story in every person. Maybe more, maybe 20, maybe 30, but there's at least one.
There's at least one.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for calling, Dan.
Yeah, Dan. Wow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to say something, because you talked about sequels, right? Whether it's a movie or a book or anything like that, because just like he was frustrated with Spider-Man with the last one,
I hate
he
that
was
movie.
okay.
I'm sorry.
But he was just as easily.
Tommy Maguire, bad feelings at 3.
But he
With
was
Venom. Oh my
wait, hold
God.
on a second. Hold on. You were just as frustrated. I got him into the Avengers. Don't even ask how, but I did.
Even that movie got me angry at the
He
end.
got no. Don't say that, because he wasn't angry at the first few movies. He got mad and upset at the last movie, Endgame, when Iron Man died.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
That was
Okay,
rough. That was a rough.
Oh man.
Baby, calm down.
Yeah, when they start doing that, it just gets to the point where you're like, oh man, you know, your heart and soul of the character. The Iron Man was everything to
Right,
me about
yeah.
that whole Marvel universe, but I can understand Danny's frustration because and I had frustrations with Black Widow too.
There you go. Another movie.
So it's all just a matter of putting up with what they throw out at us, and just trying to just take it with a grain of salt. They can always bring Iron Man back. I'm sure they can find a way to bring him back.
Another universe.
They brought the alien Sigourney Weaver's character back in Resurrection or whatever. So they could bring Iron Man back. We don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, but I think they're actually done with those particular Avengers because you've got so many other new characters now that have come up.
Never say never. I think Iron Man could come back maybe 20, 30 years from now. They'll reboot the franchise. Maybe 10 years from now. Who knows? But I think Iron Man is not good. Maybe Robert Downey Jr. might not play him, but
there is no Iron Man without Robert Downey.
That's 100% agreed. That's what we go back to. We said about Tobey Maguire and Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Well, he showed up in the third one. Him and they all showed up in the third one at the end. But I don't know, man. I feel like that plot honestly was kind of just.
It confused him.
Yeah.
It didn't confuse me. It didn't confuse me.
There was a lot going on.
It was kind of like let's just piece it together. Throw it all out there. Our contract's already done. I'm serious. That's how it made me feel.
I can understand that. I can definitely understand your frustration with these superhero movies, and I think we all have a little bit of frustration with these superhero movies because we've seen the early ones,
Right. Yeah.
Compared to the late ones, they just don't hold the
like
candle
Batman.
sometimes.
Let's talk about Batman.
No, we can't talk about Batman.
Batman was
We can't talk about Batman.
Let me just talk about Batman.
He wants to talk about Batman.
Batman was a great movie with what was the first Batman with
Michael Keaton,
Michael Keaton and all.
Christopher,
you see all these reruns and these reruns
Christian Bale.
and these Christian Bale. You see all these reruns and reruns and reruns and you're just like, ugh.
He's so
passionate. And then when you put on the original ones, it's cool because the Joker sits there and he jumps off of the plane. Remember the original one?
Mm.
What was it? The helicopter.
Helicopter.
Yeah, and it's cool because when you watch it, it's like, oh, okay, that's really cool, like creative wise.
You know what, Thomas?
When you see the other ones, it's like too much CGI and too much special effects, and then you don't really get the storyline. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
Can I just say something?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I think we're gonna need another hour with you guys. For next show, we can make a continuation. We can actually make like a sequel,
a part 2.
This.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll do the reboot a couple of years later.
Yeah, but I'm just saying because not only do we have an author here, we have a film critic, and he's really awesome. His name is Thomas Duffy, and you can find him. Where can they find you?
www.authorthomasduffy.com and take you to Amazon. We can get my books on Amazon. You can read my reviews at film-book.com.
See, there you go. And we want to thank you very much for coming. You have been such a pleasant man.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This has been a very good interview, and I'm very happy that people reached out to me and say, yo, you got to put this author on your show. He's like one of the best authors, man. I read his books. They're amazing, man. And you know what? This here is a work of art right here.
Let me put mine up.
It really is. Something different. And people, if you guys want to sit there and actually read and actually look this man up, I'm telling you right now, this man is not like any other author that you guys will ever hear, bro. He is amazing at what he does in his craft.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, guys.
And thank you. When we come back, Alfie finally gets a gripe in.
Run away, Danny.
Hello, and we're back. Okay, so last time, well, actually it was only our first show, but last time I was not able to get my gripe in, but I have a new gripe. So you ready for, what?
Every time, just do it.
Okay, well, it's not
painful.
A big deal.
Just do it. Just do it. It's painful.
Okay, it's not a big deal.
Better not be about me, this one.
It's not about you. Well, it kind of is, but not. Okay, so.
God.
No. Parking.
Okay.
Parking, is that good?
Parking what?
Okay, parking a car.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Not
so
safe.
the only gripe I have, please put the number on the screen because somebody out there has got to help me. When you're parking your car, and let's say you're going into a driveway into like a 7-Eleven or whatever, what is it with the backup? Why do people have to back up their car so they're able to get out without having to back up when they come out of the spot? I come in, and
That's a
I
good
think
question.
no, because I come in, right? And the guy, he looks like he's taking the spot on one side. So I'm like, oh, the one on the right is good. And then as I'm turning my car in, he's backing into the spot. And I'm like, now I can't get into the other spot because my car's on the left side where it should be on the right side if I want to go in. What is wrong with you people?
You know what's wrong with them?
What?
It's not their fault. It's the DMV for giving them licenses.
No, no, that's true and all. But what I'm asking is, and then there's the things that you get away out in Suffolk County
Oh God.
are not necessarily the things you can get away with when you're
In the real world, you're talking about? So what you talking about? Because half of the time, in Suffolk County, I see everything. I'm like, I thought when you go to the New York City, right, and you're sitting there by like Times Square or something, you think you see everything. But when you come to Suffolk, you see the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, this shouldn't be over here. One guy literally out with a freaking chicken that's like, hey, guys, how you doing? I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? Everything just like falling off and everything like that. This happened like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me, man.
And then
I'm serious.
and then you have the parking like on a normal residential street.
Oh God, I see cars. People probably park the cars on top of cars. I wouldn't even be surprised anymore in these days.
No, what I'm talking about those like when people who like park are the only one on the block that park the other direction.
Oh yeah, of course that's me. You know why that's me? Because I love doing it. I love saying, hey, I live here. Hi.
Yeah.
Now for real though, I'm lazy, so I can't lie to anybody. You know, like sometimes like when you go straight and then you just like, you know what? You can go like here and turn off. That's too much work. Just go straight right in there.
But you do that
hop
every
out,
time.
Go home.
You do that every time.
Woman, yes I do.
I know.
It is what it is.
I'm just saying.
Wait. I thought this grape wasn't about me.
Well, it's
So
not.
you just basically put the whole grape on me. Look at this shit.
It really no. It
Look
really.
at this shit.
Oh no, it's not.
To
that.
America, look at this shit.
Oh my God, you're cursing. This is a really like wholesome family show.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know about that, but it's not the point. The point was that why do people do that? Why?
Well, I'm lazy, so that's one. 2, you got to argue with the DMV about giving these people license. And 3, there's so many people that just don't care anymore. I see things after the pandemic, and I'm just like, yep, nobody cares anymore.
Okay, so nobody wants to call in and help?
No, they don't even know how to even answer probably this
Or
question.
would it be the same? Is it the same answer?
It's the same answer. The DMV's fault.
All right. Okay, with that said.
What do you want me to say? Like, you got to make the test harder. Like, what do you want me to say?
No, it's not about the test. It's just about, I'm just like a conform kind of girl, It's just like when you go in and you see a parking spot, you look at it, you go in, and that's it. Other people decide that they're
Woman, you're in New York. When you go into a parking spot, most of the time you got some crazy guy cursing you out. And they're like, what are you doing? What were you here? And he's literally down the block all the way down there, and he's cursing you for going into that freaking direction. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, I'm not lying. If you're from New York, you really see this. Anywhere else we go, it's like, yeah, I'll help you. I'll help you back up. The person helps you out here, backs up to another car, hits the car, and goes, okay, cool. Now, can I get your insurance? You know what I mean? Like, that's New York. That's New York.
You know what I just noticed? I think, I think we need Cake Life back on the show during this segment.
No, I think you scared him off.
I think
Because he
we
was
did.
so confused. You were like...
Shout out to Cake Life.
Shout out to Cake Life. That's my man's. You know what I'm saying? Dope entrepreneur. But what I was saying is, you basically threw him off, threw me off, threw the callers off, threw everybody off.
I didn't throw
So you just made your own parking space.
Okay, fine.
Great job. That's cool. That's directional.
No
right
more
there.
gripes from me, okay?
And I win, America. I have won. For every man, this is like going on the moon. You know what I'm saying? Put the flag on the moon with like America. After this, she said, no more grapes. That means I'm safe now.
That is not true.
Yeah, it's true.
No, it's not true.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so on the next show, we'll we'll be having a whole lot more fun. We want to shout out again to Thomas Duffy, the author, for coming in. That was really spectacular. And you should really go out and get his books, The Separation or Heavenly. Author, thomasduffy.com. Okay? Now, any other special shout outs?
Yeah, I got hundreds of them.
Okay, go ahead.
Shout out to my boy Dandada. Shout out to my little brother Joey. Shout out to my mom that's watching this. Shout out to my pops. Shout out to my grandmother. Shout out to everybody that is watching. Thank y'all all. This is great. She said no more grudge. Whatever. It's gone. It's bye-bye. The parking spaces didn't get filled. I'm happy. Oh, man. No, go ahead.
You don't know. You have no idea.
Oh, here. Finally. After 1 minute, she really comes out. Go ahead.
Who comes out?
You.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. I have one again.
That's the second time. That 3 times. There's 3 strikes and then I'm out. So I still have next week.
I'm gonna make sure you're out of here. Ain't no sliding, ain't no swinging, ain't no batting, ain't no going in. It's batter, swing.
Okay, but
gone.
What do we got coming up now?
What do you mean, like show wise?
Yeah, we got that. You got that show on March 26th.
Yeah. March 26th, man. Shout everybody out. Homeboy hit me up. He said, "Yo, D, can you be on the show?" I said, "Absolutely," and we're gonna keep it going from there. But I want to take the time to really thank our guests for coming on, and it was kind of cool because a lot of times you don't really get to see like creativity, and I think honestly reading his books, a lot of my favorite thing is people that are out of the box, people that you're not even sitting in there, you wouldn't even think that can actually sit there and actually like judge a book by its cover, literally, and then all of a sudden when you see it, you're like, whoa. So that's something that inspires somebody else because people don't realize the person that doesn't say nothing, person that's mostly quiet, person that's just analyzing everything is the person that's basically gonna come for your ass.
Right.
And not trying to sound crazy, not trying to, really, but I'm being honest with you. I've seen it plenty of times. I've seen the most quietest person shock everybody in the room, and the loudest person just become quiet.
And who's the most quiet in this room?
Not me, shit.
Well, ain't that the truth? But
what truth? Truth so help you grudge?
He's on a roll today, people.
Get the ham and get the cheese out. You heard? All right, go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. We will keep shouting out everybody that's showing us so much love because it would literally take us a whole hour.
Real quick though, we're thankful because the show did very well last week. So I just want to thank everybody who comes in and always supports. God bless y'all all, man. And honest to God, man, I wanted to say a prayer out for those people right now that are fighting inside the war right now against Russia. Go ahead, babe.
No. It's hard to watch because you watch it every day.
We hold y'all prayers, and we just want to thank everybody too, man, and just pray for them at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you. And bye-bye.